Hello, welcome to this introduction to Trig edition Formulae. Now this is just a gentle introduction to get you used to seeing the formulae and how they can be applied firstly in a very simple context. I just want to make you aware that they exist and they're going to be really important for year 2 of the A-level course. Now this is up here, I'm just pointing to there are the addition formulae. These are what we need to be able to use. Now down here, this is the form they are in the formula booklet. This is taken from the Edexcel formula booklet. Now there are 6 that we need to be thinking about today. There's the sign when we have 2 angles added. These might not necessarily be numbers, numerical angles. They could be algebraic. It could be x plus y or x plus 45 or x plus pi. But we will need to be manipulating these. Here, they're slightly condensed in the booklet. So we've got 2 formulae for sine where we add the angle and we take away. So notice here, for example, sine alpha plus beta. When we add the 2 angles, we get sine alpha cos beta plus cos alpha sine beta. When we take away the angles, we've got the same thing with a takeaway there. Well, that's shown here. So when we add the angles, we add these 2 in the expression. Here, when we take away here. The cos one's slightly different. So when you add angles in cos, so here, let's look at the Edexcel formula booklet version. If you've got cos A plus B, we have cos A, cos B, minus, be careful there, sine A, sine B. Cos A minus B, cos A, cos B, plus sine A, sine B. Here the tan, so when we're adding the angles, there's an add up there, there's a takeaway there. When we take away, there's a takeaway up there, there's an add there. So you'll get used to using these. You will probably remember these after time, but there's always that safety net that they're in the formula booklet. Hello, let's have a look at using these formulae and getting used to them. Well, there's some really good exercises in the Pearson textbook, and I've kind of adapted and made up some of my own questions. And these are just good for getting used to identifying which formula you need. So if we look at this one, we've got sine 10 cos 35 plus cos 10 sine 35. And I have to write that as a single sine, single cosine, or a single tangent. Hopefully you'll see that this one is relevant here. Sine A cos B plus cos A sine B. Well, my A is 10 and my B is 35. So it's the addition formula. So this is going to be actually sine of 10 degrees plus 35 degrees. So that is sine 45 degrees. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, here we are. Now we're showing a bit of algebra. So it's, well, you can see cos, sine, sine, cos plus sine. So when you see that, cos, and then plus or minus sine, you know you're looking there. Well, we're adding, and we've got cos 4x, cos x, sine 4x, sine x. If we add, it's taking away the angle. So it's going to be cos of 4x minus x, which is cos of 3x. There we go. Okay, gets a bit exciting here because we're using tan. So we know this is going to be this one, but is it plus or minus? So we've got minus on the top, plus on the bottom, so we are taking away the angle. So it's going to be tan of 60 minus 15 degrees. Well, that's going to be tan of 45 degrees. So I've just used ones there with nice angles to start us off. And all that is about is beginning to recognise and identify what formula to use. And that will really help you later on. Okay, here's something a bit more meaty. There's some similar exercises that I'd recommend in the Pearson textbook. I've just made this one up. Given that cos y equals sine of x minus y, show that tan x equals sec x plus tan y. Well, let's work through this carefully. We've got cos of y equals sine of x minus y. Next line. Well, let's apply our formula. We know we've got additional here, subtraction of angles. Let's use this. So I've got sine x cos y, and we're taking away, so this is minus with the sine formula, minus cos x sine y. So that's your first step. Well, I'm going to divide everything through. Now, I know I want tan x here. I'm looking to make tan x. So what do? I'm going to divide everything by cos x and see what happens. Cos x there. Cos x. So I'm dividing through by cos x. Let's just switch to a different colour to try and make it a little bit clearer. Well, here, cos y, well, I can't really do anything with that as it stands. So I'll leave that be. Here, well, sine x over cos x, that gives me my tan x. So I've got tan x cos y minus, got cos x cancelling out to leave sine y. So we're certainly getting there at the moment. And if you kind of make the right steps, keep the faith, you will get there. Okay, I've just moved my formulae out the way there to give me some room. So what am I going to do here? Well, let's have a look. I'm going to divide everything. Divide by cos y. I'm just showing that there like that so I can explain what I'm doing. So if I divide this bit by cos y, you're left with 1 over cos x. I divide this one by cos y, gets rid of the cos y, and I'm just left with tan x, which is what I really want. Divide sine y by cos y, well, you get tan y. Now, we needed a sec. Well, 1 over cos is, of course, yep, that's right, sec. So this is all falling into place. So I've got sec x equals tan x minus tan y. Change the colour of the pen again. Hope you can see the red okay. So I've got tan x is going to equal sec x, and I just shove the tan y over there. And there you go, job done. So let's just have a little review of that because it's a bit more involved, isn't it? So there's the question. There's my starting point on the left-hand side. Divide through by cos x. I do that because I know it's going to give me tan x there. I then see, well, there's a cos y there I could do with getting rid of. I just want tan x on its own. That's why I divide by cos y. Divide by cos y, it gets rid of that cos y there. So I'm just left with 1 over cos. I get rid of the cos y, I'm left with tan. Sin y over cos y is tan y. And here we are, 1 over cos is sec x, and then rearrange. Go through the steps there. The individual steps should make sense. Our challenge is, of course, putting this together. Putting everything together to make it make sense. Well, please go through that again. If the exercises, there's exercises out there to help you review it. Bye now.